Welcome in, everyone. I'm Renee, the visionary here at the Phoenix Uprising. In this video, you'll see intuitively chosen images, each attuned to the current energy and meant to spark your inner knowing. This is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest for others. These messages are offered for guidance and inspiration, not as a substitute for professional advice. Let's begin by clearing the space. You'll hear 3 chimes starting now. If you have a question for Source, offer it to the universe and be ready to receive with an open heart and mind. All right, let's begin.
It feels like when you get one thing taken care of, something else needs to be addressed. This could also be talking about your spiritual maintenance. The Lovers, well, there's going to be a choice, a crossroads that you come to. It could also be talking about strong bonds, aligning with your core values. I would say be true to you. It could represent a partner. Nine of Cups is about enjoying the fruits of your own labor. It's a wish granted. It's also about taking pride in your own accomplishments. The Six of Swords. The Six of Swords talks about a transition period. You're moving away from difficulty, you're letting go. You're moving toward peace and healing. This Six of Swords represents you feeling this transitional period as being stuck, right? Like you're spinning your wheels and not really getting anywhere. The Devil, well, you're feeling trapped with the Devil card. Talks about a desire to break free from negative patterns or addictions, relationships. This could also be talking about confronting your own darker aspects. When we're talking about spiritual maintenance, your darker aspects, I feel like, should be your focus. What can you improve about your darker aspects? Where can they be applied in a positive way, transmuted into something for your highest good? Past hurts can become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. The difference depends on you, right? Seashells could be significant. A trip to the beach can bring clarity to the situation. I don't know about you guys, but I love being near the water. Not even necessarily in it, right? Just near the water makes me feel better. Whether it's the beach, the river, the lake, a stream. Why is that? Water's powerful. There's something about water being healing for some of you. Not necessarily in it, but around it. Maybe you like to fish and sit on the bank, just being near the water. With the Lovers card, there's definitely a choice that's having to be made. Will you go this way? Will you go that way? Like hopes or regrets? Which will you choose? I feel like there's a need for you to have a break or take a beat. I don't know if that's physically or perhaps mentally. Your mind has been really racing, or both. Well, think about spinning in the mud. If you've ever been stuck in the mud, when that happens to you the first time, your initial reaction is to give it more gas, right? That usually doesn't go well if you're really stuck in the mud. You're just digging yourself deeper and deeper. Then you're calling a tow truck for sure. With the Six of Swords, realize that you're in a transition period. Transition periods are weird, right? They're awkward. It makes me think of hardening off plants. If you grow plants or you're a gardener, little seedlings and cuttings that have been started indoors have to go through like a seasoning period, a transition period for them to move from indoors to outdoors. Because if not, they don't fare very well. Because they've been indoors with artificial light and they're sort of soft. They're not very hardy. So too is our transition period. We have to give ourselves time to move from one blessing to the next. Because if you try to transplant yourself ahead of schedule, you may not fare very well because you weren't ready. Even though in your mind you may think so, take a beat, have a break. Wolf spider. Wolf spiders rely on their speed and vision to hunt prey. rather than spinning. Wolf spiders don't spin webs. It knows how to sit and be still and wait for the perfect opportunity to come, and it will, and then it pounces, right? It doesn't need a web, it doesn't need to spin in circles like other spiders. It patiently waits for the blessing, and then it moves. Wolf spiders can give you a pretty painful bite. The pest control that they provide makes them valuable, especially in gardens. The anteater, they have a very impressive sense of smell, 40 times that of humans. They have a 2 foot long tongue that's covered in tiny spines. They also have really long claws that they use to break apart termite mounds. Despite the way they look, they can actually have bursts of speed up to 30 miles an hour. They're also known to be controllers of pest populations. The wolf spider and the anteater are both proactive hunters. The anteater is equipped with everything it needs to get to what it desires. Claws, in this case, a specialized tongue to pick up ants. I really feel like you could benefit by taking a trip somewhere close to the water. It doesn't even have to be an overnight trip. You could just visit a park that maybe has a stream. I feel like there's going to be a moment of clarity in this space on something that's been weighing on your mind, this way or that way. I feel like you could come to a decision with this Lovers card and the choice. You're aligning with your core values. You're ready to enjoy the fruits of your own labor with the Nine of Cups. If you really take time to look back, let's say on the last several years, I feel like you would realize that you've made a lot more progress than you think you have. Even though this transition period feels very stagnating, there's something being lined up that's taking time. You're like this plant that needs to be hardened off. Don't get ahead of yourself. There's a reason that there's time to transition from one blessed life to the next level. Are you ready, mind, body, spirit, to be in that next space? I feel like you've been doing things for yourself that do maintain your spiritual self, whether that's meditation or somatics. Somatics is about getting your nervous system regulated. Some of you could benefit from that. Perhaps you should give that a look-see. I'm seeing chickweed, cacao, and chamomile. Chickweed is good for arthritis and joint pain, eczema, insect bites, respiratory infections. Cacao, 90% or higher, is good for heart and brain health. Can help improve mood, and it's an anti-inflammatory. Chamomile helps reduce anxiety. It also improves sleep. It can lower blood sugar. I'm seeing multiple income streams. I think for some of you, you're considering working in a field that's not typically known, perhaps for your gender or something like that. You could be a female getting into the automotive industry, right? Or welding or truck driving, stock investing, whatever. I feel like if you're in this anteater energy, though, you are equipped to tear down anything that would stand in your way. If it's something that you really want, I wouldn't let this devil energy deter me. I feel like multiple income streams can come in. Like the wolf spider, you're an active participant, right? You have no problem going after what you want. It could be extremely lucrative. There is a call for you to take a break, or at least maybe give your brain a break about this. There's something that's really got your wheels spinning, and maybe not in the healthiest of ways. I feel like the universe is here to support you. With the Nine of Cups being here, there is a wish granted. There will come that time where you can take pride in your accomplishments and enjoy the fruits of your labor. You're definitely on the track to do that. I feel like Spirit is telling you to try to implement some things that will calm your anxiety, your nervous system, right? Being close to the water could help you with that. I feel like you're going to see forward movement by the next new moon. I heard message in a bottle a little bit ago. The universe is going to give you an undeniable message regarding which way you need to go here. which fork to take on the path. And of course, that's up to you, but I feel like the universe is going to try to nudge you in the way that will bring you to this wish fulfillment with the Nine of Cups. And maybe that's part of the reason that you feel like you're stuck in the mud, because the wolf spider and the anteater are proactive hunters. The thing is, when you trust the universe, trust your higher self, trust your own intuition, you get to a point where you realize you don't have to grind so hard. You attract. You still have to put in work, of course, but you don't have to kill yourself trying to figure out what comes next and how we're going to do it and the who, what, when, where, and why of everything. You've been putting in effort. With the new moon here, I feel like you need to be near the water on the new moon or close to the new moon. Acts of self care, right? Taking time to show yourself some love. Take a bubble bath, skincare routine. Maybe you could have the epiphany moment while you're stretched out in a hot bubble bath. The water is significant. Taking a mental break so that the answer can come forward. You have to calm your mind so you can hear what's being said by your higher self, by the universe, however you choose to frame it.
May you be highly favored and abundant in all good things. I'd like to leave you with today's food for thought quote.
What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Stay true to yourself, trust the journey, and step boldly into your next chapter. Only up from here, and together we rise.